Brittany Murphy. Alright, let's dive into the life and incredibly strange death of Brittany Murphy. In the 2000s, she was Hollywood's bubbly darling, winning us over with roles in Clueless, 8 Mile, and her unforgettable voice as Luann in King of the Hill. Behind that radiant smile, however, Britney's life was far from a picture-perfect movie. Married to Simon Monjack, a screenwriter whose reputation was more murky than impressive, things in her Beverly Hills home were reportedly unusual. But nothing prepared anyone for December 20th, 2009. Brittany, only 32, collapsed in her bathroom. The official cause? Pneumonia, anemia, and a lethal cocktail of prescription drugs. But was that really it? Now, here's where things get eerie. Less than 6 months later, Simon Monjack was dead. Same house, similar symptoms. This left everyone scratching their heads and speculating about toxic mold, poisoning, or something far more sinister. Conspiracy theories ran wild. Some folks even believed Murphy was silenced for her alleged knowledge of Hollywood's dark secrets. Her mother, Sharon, lived with the couple and became a controversial figure in the aftermath, denying any mold issues in one breath and suggesting it might have played a role in another. Confusing, right? It doesn't end there. Investigative journalists and fans continued to push for answers, believing foul play might have been involved. Brittany was known to be a little paranoid toward the end of her life. She thought she was being watched, and she wasn't alone. The Monjack family claimed Simon had been receiving death threats. Combine that with prescription pill misuse, and it's like a tragic Hollywood thriller no one wanted. To this day, Brittany Murphy's death is still a haunting mix of sadness, unanswered questions, and eerie coincidences. It serves as a chilling reminder that fame can hide the darkest realities. Was it an accident, a preventable tragedy, or something we'll never fully understand? Brittany deserved so much better, and her fans will never stop seeking the truth. Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse, the powerhouse voice that could send chills down your spine and make you feel every note of pain and passion. She burst onto the music scene with hits like Rehab and Back to Black, and her talent was undeniable, but while her career skyrocketed, her life spiraled out of control. Amy battled addiction, the press fed off every stumble, and her tumultuous love life became tabloid fodder. It was as if the world was addicted to watching her self-destruct. In the end, her tragic fate on July 23rd, 2011 was a gut punch we saw coming, yet hoped she'd dodge. Amy was only 27 years old when she joined the infamous 27 Club, a chilling roster of artists like Kurt Cobain and Jimi Hendrix who all passed away at that age. The official cause? Alcohol poisoning. She'd relapsed after a period of abstinence, and her blood alcohol level was 5 times the legal limit. But Amy's story wasn't just about substance abuse. It was about a woman who bore her soul to the world through music while fighting her demons in the public eye. Friends said she'd never wanted fame, she just wanted to sing, but the fame came like a wave, drowning her in paparazzi flashes and endless scrutiny. Her ex-husband, Blake Fielder Civil, was often blamed for introducing her to hard drugs, though he later admitted he was just as lost as Amy. Her family tried to intervene, and there were moments of hope, brief glimpses where you'd think maybe she's coming back, but they never lasted long. Today, Amy Winehouse's legacy is that of raw talent, squandered potential, and unfiltered human experience. She made people feel deeply, even if it meant burning out like a supernova. She left us with the music and a lingering ache, an all too common reminder of what happens when the world embraces artists' pain more than their joy. Paul Walker. Paul Walker, the man who made you fall in love with the Fast and Furious franchise with that boyish charm and a smile that said buckle up. Outside the adrenaline-packed races on screen, Paul was an avid humanitarian. His love for cars was genuine, so genuine in fact, that it tragically led to his death on November 30th, 2013. This wasn't a movie stunt gone wrong, this was reality. Paul, as a passenger in a Porsche Carrera GT driven by his friend Roger Rodas, crashed at a speed estimated between 80 to 93 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. The car slammed into a concrete lamppost, caught fire, and that was it. Paul was 40 years old, gone in a blink of an eye. Fans were stunned. Paul had just stepped away from a charity event for his organization, Reach Out Worldwide, which provided relief to disaster victims. How could someone so full of life and hope meet such a cruel, fiery end? Soon, speculation about vehicle malfunctions surfaced, sparking lawsuits from Paul's daughter, Meadow, against Porsche, claiming design flaws contributed to his death. Porsche fired back, arguing driver error and road conditions were at fault. Legal battles ensued, adding another layer of grief for Paul's loved ones. And then there was the shock of it all. Paul's death seemed to mimic the Fast and Furious films he helped make iconic, but this wasn't scripted. There was no stunt doubles or CGI to soften the blow. Co-star Vin Diesel called Paul his brother, and the franchise carried on in his honor. His absence left a palpable void, turning each new film into a tribute. Paul Walker's death was a stark reminder that life can end in a twist of a wheel, no matter how brightly you shine. His legacy lives on through his work on and off the screen, and the ripples of that tragic day are felt far beyond Hollywood. Robin Williams. Few celebrities could bring laughter and tears in equal measure like Robin Williams. From Mrs. Doubtfire to Good Will Hunting, Robin's genius knew no bounds. But for all his roles, the role of a happy man concealing deep pain may have been his hardest. On August 11th, 2014, the world lost one of its brightest stars to suicide. It didn't make sense. How could a man who'd made everyone laugh be so overwhelmed by sadness? It felt like a cruel cosmic joke. But this was no simple tale of depression. Robin was battling Lewy body dementia, a condition he wasn't even aware of until a post-mortem revealed it. It's a brutal disease causing hallucinations, paranoia, and memory loss. Imagine knowing something was off, slipping further away from yourself, but not being able to explain it. In his final months, Robin reported fearing he was losing his grip on reality. He'd been misdiagnosed with Parkinson's, adding to his confusion and despair. His widow, Susan Schneider Williams, would later speak out about the torment Robin endured. She described him as chased by an invisible monster, unable to control or comprehend what was happening to his brilliant mind. It's a heartbreaking testament to how misunderstood mental health can be, even in the brightest of minds. The aftermath was a collective grief felt worldwide. People remembered Robin for his wild comedy, his depth as an actor, and the kindness he showed so many. His death opened conversations about mental health and neurodegenerative diseases, shining light on the silent battles many face. Robin's legacy isn't just in his films, but in the laughter he sparked and the conversation his passing ignited. Avicii. Avicii, born Tim Bergling, was a Swedish DJ and producer whose beats defined a generation of electronic music lovers. With hits like Wake Me Up and Levels, he was the king of festivals, commanding stages and lighting up crowds with the push of a button. But behind the beats and flashing lights was a man spiraling under the weight of fame. Tim was thrust into the spotlight in his early 20s, and the relentless touring schedule soon took its toll. By the time he was 28, the pressures of the industry and his own battles with mental health would lead to his tragic death on April 20th, 2018 in Oman. The official report revealed he died by suicide, leaving fans and colleagues shocked and heartbroken. Tim's struggles weren't exactly hidden. He'd spoken candidly about anxiety, exhaustion, and the physical toll of non-stop touring. At 21, he was hospitalized for acute pancreatitis due to excessive drinking, a habit that stemmed partly from trying to manage stage fright and the unending demands of fame. Despite stepping back from the live performances in 2016, the industry's pressures didn't just vanish. He channeled his energy into creating music, but couldn't seem to find peace. The aftermath of his death was a wake-up call for the music industry. Fellow DJs spoke out about the dark side of fame, how the grind can chew artists up and spit them out. Tim's family later released a statement saying he could not go on any longer and wanted to find peace. It was a heartbreaking realization for fans. The person who made them dance through the night was quietly fighting for his life. Today, Avicii's music serves as both a reminder of his incredible talent and a cautionary tale about the human cost of fame. His death sparked conversations about mental health and the need for better support for artists, a legacy that's as powerful as any beat drop he ever produced. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was more than a basketball legend. He was a global icon, a father, and a relentless competitor who inspired millions. He spent 20 seasons with the Los Angeles Lakers, raking up 5 NBA championships and scoring records that etched his name in history. But on January 26, 2020, the world was rocked when news broke that Kobe and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna had died in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California, along with 7 others. It was a moment of disbelief, a hero gone in an instant. Kobe frequently used helicopters to travel around Los Angeles, a convenience to manage his schedule and avoid traffic. But on that fateful morning, dense fog enveloped the city. The helicopter, piloted by Ara Zobayan, lost its bearings and ultimately crashed into a hillside. The investigation would later reveal that poor visibility and pilot error were likely causes. It wasn't some wild, dramatic twist. It was tragically ordinary circumstances that led to a devastating loss. The aftermath was a wave of grief that swept the globe. Fans gathered outside Staples Center to create makeshift memorials, and tributes poured in from athletes, celebrities, and ordinary people whose lives Kobe touched. His fierce Mamba mentality became a mantra for pushing through challenges and striving for greatness. Losing Gianna, who was on the path to follow in her father's footsteps, only deepened the tragedy. Kobe's legacy endures not just through his basketball achievements, but through his contributions as a father, mentor, and advocate for women's sports. His death left an unfillable void, a stark reminder of life's fragility. In the end, even legends can be grounded by fate's cruel hand. Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry, the quick-witted Chandler Bing from Friends, brought laughter to millions. His comedic timing, self-deprecating humor, and enduring catchphrases made him a fan favorite. But behind the laughs, Matthew's life was often a struggle. He battled addiction throughout much of his Friends tenure, something he spoke about openly in later years. On October 28, 2023, Perry was found dead in his hot tub. He was 54. For fans, it was a devastating loss, as if they'd lost a dear friend from their living rooms. Perry's struggles weren't just tabloid fodder, they were real, raw, and painful. He suffered from severe health complications due to substance abuse, at one point stating that he'd been in rehab 15 times, yet he didn't hide from it. He used his platform and raised awareness about addiction, hoping to help others break the cycle. His memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing laid bare the depths of his addiction and how he fought back time and again. The circumstances of his death, involving cardiac arrest while relaxing at home, were tragic, but not entirely surprising to those who followed his journey. It sparked a renewed focus on the challenges of addiction recovery, especially for those who carry the scars for a lifetime. His passing was a reminder that the fight never really ends for some. Matthew Perry left behind a legacy not just as a beloved actor, but as someone unafraid to show his flaws and humanity. His comedic gifts were unmatched, but his honesty about addiction may be what saves countless others from a similar fate. He was, and will always be, more than Chandler Bing, a testament to resilience, even when it seems like all is lost. Taylor Hawkins. Taylor Hawkins was the rock and roll heartbeat of the Foo Fighters, a drumming legend who could make any stage tremble. Fans knew him for his infectious energy, wild hair, and a smile that never faded. But on March 25, 2022, the music world stopped when Taylor was found dead in a hotel room in Bogota, Colombia, where the band was scheduled to perform. The cause? A mixture of substances was found in his system, though the details remained murky. He was 50 years old and the loss was soul-crushing. Taylor wasn't just a drummer, he was a performer who connected with fans in a way few could. Behind his energetic persona, he battled addiction, something he'd managed to keep in check for years. His death reignited conversations about the toll of fame and substance abuse in the music industry, with fans and friends mourning a loss that seemed painfully preventable. The aftermath saw tributes from rock legends, heartfelt stories from fellow band members, and an outpouring of grief from those who banged their heads to his beats. Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl called him his brother, a bond that went beyond music. Hawkins' death left the band reeling, a reminder that even the loudest, brightest souls can be silenced. Taylor Hawkins' legacy lives on through every beat, every powerful drum solo that made audiences cheer. His story, like so many others, is a mix of triumph, talent, and heartbreak, a reminder of the price of brilliance in an industry that never stops demanding more. Ray Leota. Ray Leota, a Hollywood icon, was known for his electrifying performances and that unmistakable voice that could send chills down your spine. Most famously, he played Henry Hill in Goodfellas, captivating audiences with his portrayal of a mobster's rise and fall in Martin Scorsese's crime epic. With piercing eyes and a screen presence that was both intense and charismatic, Leota's career spanned decades, leaving a mark in every genre he touched. But on May 26, 2022, fans were stunned when news broke that Leota had died in his sleep while filming Dangerous Waters in the Dominican Republic. He was 67 and the suddenness of it all hit hard. Leota's death, as revealed, was due to natural causes, a reminder that life can be both unpredictable and fragile. There was no dramatic scandal, no hidden mystery, just the silent, quiet end of a legendary performer's life while he was doing what he loved the most: acting. To those who knew him, he was more than a brooding screen presence. He was a dedicated father, a consummate professional, and someone who still had stories left to tell. The abruptness of his passing felt like an unfinished script. His career had recently seen a resurgence, with roles in projects like Marriage Story and The Many Saints of Newark. Audiences were rediscovering his range and depth as an actor, which made his death feel even more untimely. It was as though Leota was finally getting the recognition and new chapters he deserved, only to have it suddenly cut short. Ray Liotta's legacy is cemented in his memorable performances, whether as the charismatic mobster, the hardened detective, or the many other faces he wore so well. While fans mourned the loss of a great actor, they also celebrated his remarkable body of work. He once said he enjoyed disappearing into his roles. In that sense, he continues to live on, forever a part of cinema's grand tapestry, unforgettable, and always just a screen away.